This channel is for immature audiences only. It is not for children, only for childish adults. We might play some video games that kids also like, but we say words like fuck and shit with alarming frequency and make crude, inappropriate, and morbid jokes all the damn time. Level 0 NPCs assumes no responsibility if your idiot spawn watches this and gets traumatized.
Man, I drank too much pink lemonade. I'm going to tell you something, guys. I could drink pink lemonade constantly. With no end. I would never get sick of it.
What's the pink? Is it grenadine?
I think you might get sick of it.
Okay, I probably
like physically.
What's the pink in pink?
Yeah.
God, that's such a fucking great question.
It is. You cut right to the quick. I did not know until this moment that I wanted to know the answer to that question.
Are there pink lemons? Is it grapefruit?
Is it pink sugar?
I think it's like
pink
blue
water.
raspberry where it's just an arbitrary color, but maybe it's strawberry or something. Let me look it up.
Like, I love normal lemonade, but I think I might love pink lemonade more.
Because of the color? Is there a discernible difference in taste?
So
there is a difference in taste.
There
pink
is a
lemonade
difference.
Is a different taste. I'm much more of a classic lemon man myself, but I could see it. I could understand.
I like hot lemon water.
I mean, hot lemon water is just lemonade that's been heated up.
Well, there's no sugar
right?
in that. That's just hot lemon water.
Oh, just
so
lemon juice in water.
Sometimes on a plane,
diluted lemon juice
when they don't
that's
have
been
like
heated.
herbal tea or something, and I don't want just water, I will get one of those little. They give you the little dried sachet of lemon or lime, and I'll just stick that in the hot water that they give me, just so that I don't just taste airplane water because it's really not the best tasting water. I'll just do that.
I've never had an airline sachet of dried lemon.
You can ask them for that.
Is that
they
a
have
thing?
Them. Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna do that. I have a flight in December. I'm gonna get myself some dried lemon.
Yeah, just ask for hot water with lemon, and they'll just give you the sachet most likely.
That sounds lovely. I'm gonna get a double serving.
I wouldn't say put a whole
lemon.
thing in there because it is quite strong, but it's nice, and you get a little shot of vitamin C to help you with that plane. You know, the plane is not the healthiest place to be, so yeah, that's what I usually do.
What the
That
hell?
sounds fantastic.
The disappointing answer to what the pink in pink lemonade is whatever.
What?
Yeah, it's
Any
whatever.
pink substance. Yeah.
Any pink substance.
It's sometimes called
Really?
strawberry lemonade when it is strawberry, but any dye or juice or thing that will make it pink makes it pink lemonade. There's no one
Yeah,
recipe.
okay, now wait.
Put a few
That's
drops of your own blood in it.
strawberry
Pink lemonade.
That's not pink lemonade. That's strawberry aid. If there's no fucking lemon in it.
Oh, or raspberry.
Lemonade with strawberry or berries to
Strawberry
make it
does
pink.
not impart a
Oh.
color.
Or-
I thought
or
it was
cranberry.
raspberry or something.
No, they usually use a little bit of juice.
Oh, like what kind of juice?
Or but honestly, just coloring is
strawberry.
also what a lot of
But
it uses.
mostly what they use is red food dye.
But what kind of fruit
And
juice
if-
is it?
It
Just lemon.
I mean, it's just normal lemonade, and with red food dye, strawberry juice, cranberry juice, or any other red fruit juice that gives it a pink hue.
The
without
Wikipedia
overshadowing.
description here is truly anything reddish. Anything that will render it pink is what makes it pink lemonade. But there's no
Beets.
there's no real upward limit to the substance, right? A few drops of human blood will do the trick.
I could swear it tastes different than normal lemonade, but you know
I
what?
thought so too. It's been a very long time since I had pink lemonade.
I don't think it does.
You have to do a blind taste test.
I didn't think that it did. I really thought it had the same taste. But I am quite sad to spoil that illusion. Like, that's not something that I take any joy
I
in.
know.
No.
That's not... I didn't look it up to do that. I was hoping for a different answer, and
Me
I'm quite sad
too.
by that result.
Well, now I'm gonna. Oh man,
I'm so sorry.
You're
We're all
allowed to prefer
suffering
your
together
lemonade
today.
pink.
God
It
damn.
doesn't make a damn
A
difference,
little
though.
whimsy in your life.
My life is
Just,
worse
you know,
now.
Maybe.
The world just gets a little bit darker. That's the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's the more
a
information.
little
you
less
know,
pink.
the worse your life gets.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss.
That's very
In
much
many
the
cases, it's true.
being friends with Alex experience. The world gets a little darker every day.
Yeah, the orangutan's probably an orangutan.
Yeah.
From the etymology and descriptions alone, yes,
Yes,
it's probably
absolutely.
just an orangutan.
Just take your ball and
maybe
go
a
home.
baby one.
Yeah.
Maybe a baby
The
one.
orangutan is called a forest person. Someone saw them and was like, it's like a little person who lives in the forest. And then there's a myth of just like, I think I saw a little person in the forest. And I'm like, do you mean the forest people? No, he was little. Like a little person. Yeah, like a little person. Orang Pendak.
Anyway, yeah. There's no magic in the world, and now pink
Not a
lemonade
drop.
Pink
Not a
lemonade
drop.
is now just added to that list.
Though again,
I mean-
if you look at an orangutan and you don't believe in magic in the world, then I don't know. I don't think you're paying attention. Look at the way he scratches his weird nose.
No, you're
Look
right.
at the way he continues to escape from his enclosure by hiding tools in his cheeks.
No,
you know?
you're right. You're right. I saw one in the Toronto Zoo. And it was a mom and a baby, and the baby was just hanging off. And I'm like, that baby's gonna fall. Never did. That baby was so cool.
My partner and I were at the Biodome, and I saw puffins up close and became very emotional about it.
Yeah.
No particular reason. It's just I thought they were just like really wonderful, and it was kind of this moment I had with these puffins. So yeah, I think there's magic in the world in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, I drank too much lemonade. I'm glad. I'll be back. I gotta pee. It's a thing. This is a thing. I'm gonna just do that because I drank too much lemonade.
Is it
Go ahead.
pink? Will it be pink? I wonder.
I'll report back.
Okay.
Okay. Good. Keep going though. Don't stop. All right.
My bet is on not pink. I think Matt would have to drink a medically troubling amount of pink lemonade to have that much red dye in a system.
I didn't.
It
Depends on the red
what made
dye.
the
Some of
pink.
it is
If
like
it's beets or
non-soluble.
something, then yes. But it's probably
Yeah.
Beats.
He's
Anyway, I'll be back.
Matt's gonna beatbox on his way out. Nice.
I picture liquid beets as being quite viscous.
Well,
Like
you just
the
had
music.
Oh my god! Yes, it would be. I thought you actually meant beets, like the actual thing.
Oh, liquid beets are just a liquid, but like beats the music if you liquefy
Sure.
it. I think it would be quite thick.
Yeah,
Yeah, quite possibly.
chunks in it.
Fat beets. Chunky beets.
Yeah, a chunky liquid.
I don't like chunky liquids. I mean, some textured liquids are okay, but like, I don't know. A drink that is describable as chunky, I'm not sure I would be behind
Context
that.
matters too. Like a soup
Yeah.
to be chunky, that's fine. But like,
Chunky soup. That's not really a drink. That's soup, though.
like if you have a delightful squash soup, it kind of has this uniform graininess that is quite good to it. But if you applied that same substance to something that smelled differently, you wouldn't like it as much.
No.
Yeah, probably.
Context matters when it comes to textures, I think.
I agree. I'm willing to agree with that.
It seems we have stopped, contrary to Matt's wishes.
Yep.
Yeah, I was I was
was
checking
just
something
sure
on Wikipedia, but we did lapse into absolute silence when Matt left. It's kind of a running bit, actually, if you're anywhere in Matt's friends group. Is that he's the animating force behind it all. We could do a little bit of gameplay.
We could try.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we won't have Matt to do the voices, but that's okay.
I'll just do a shittier job of it.
There you go.
We just don't talk to Colonel Dijon this
Tell
whole time.
about Jeeves.
I don't care to listen to your childish stories.
That's true. You don't.
Your butler is dead, you dumb son of a bitch.
Yeah, and your
your
and,
maid
and
as well,
Fifi.
And
Whatever.
your maid.
Yeah, there you go, maid.
I'm back. It wasn't
Say
pink.
what? It wasn't pink.
Wasn't pink.
I didn't think it would be. I wouldn't think there was enough dye in it.
I'm actually very well hydrated.
Fantastic.
So
That's good.
yeah. Anyway,
Clear as a summer's morn.
well, a little clear. I mean, there was definitely impurities in there.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Your kidneys are doing their thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thrown it back. Of course, I drink water like an elephant drinks water. just like,
Have we tried to
you
look
know?
in on Lillian doing her thing? Is she one of those people who reads what she's writing out loud?
Lillian gets a disgusted look on her face. You try to talk to her. She clearly doesn't care right now.
Yeah.
We've spied on her from the hole.
She's yeah.
That's how we
Voluntary
captured her.
manslaughter, Lillian.
We could just call it VM. They'll know.
That's going to be one of our fandom slangs, VM for voluntary manslaughter. If you're ever trying to spell manslaughter, it's just man's laughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The laughter of men.
That's a... Yeah.
It's a very old bit, but, in case anyone hasn't noticed that yet, there's one for you. Also, you can't spell homeowner without meow.
That's true. Yeah.
And good luck reading that word and not pronouncing it home yowner from now on for the rest of your life, because it's a curse that I've passed on to you.
I feel enriched with this knowledge and this.
Yeah, it's a curse that makes my life slightly better.
Oh, meowner.
Home yowner.
Meowner.
I literally went to Google and typed it out.
Home yowner? Nice.
Yeah. Well,
It's very funny, but, again, that is the sort of magic that really does exist in the world.
that's the true magic.
Ooh, there's a cup on the boar.
Well, there was a cup.
Oh, check it for poisson.
If that cup was
for
gone,
poisson?
I think I would leave.
Poisson?
I would leave call, stop recording.
Look at cup.
We have
You see
threatened...
nothing special.
Oh,
I
wow.
disagree. Look
Yeah.
at bar. The sculpted marble bar sports a beautifully finished ebony countertop. Upon it, you notice an
Okay, it's
empty
glass.
Glass.
Now that I look at it, that is a hell of a bar.
A fingerprint.
As you look at the empty glass, you notice a faint fingerprint on it.
Do we have a way to
Examine.
take fingerprints?
Print with monocle.
I don't think so.
Well, what's the point of a fingerprint then?
Oh, thank you for doing
Wow,
absolutely
just
nothing,
nothing.
game.
How do you like that?
You look at the fingerprint through the monocle, you memorize it, then you walk upstairs and look at the other fingerprint, and then compare it in your mind palace.
There you go. Picking up the glass, you use Wilbur's monocle as a magnifying glass and notice a faint fingerprint.
Does that match
Yet
the same
glass.
fingerprint?
You don't need to carry around the glass. I want to find out if it's the same one.
And then you could just look at everyone's fingers, I guess, if you want. Whoever's left.
Yeah.
Look at everyone's fingers. Look at fingerprint. Yep, great.
Yep. Okay.
Maybe
Throw
they
yourself
wanted
out
to.
window.
You're gonna respond.
They
I
forgot.
might have pulled this thread in a previous recording of this. Wasn't there a thing in recent decades about whether fingerprints were still admissible as evidence?
Huh.
The science behind it was proving to be somewhat hokey or something like that.
Well, I mean, like, what was it, like dental forensics and stuff like that has been pretty much debunked?
Yeah, teeth marks, bite marks are not admissible, I believe.
Yeah, are no longer
I'm
considered
certainly no expert in
admissible.
forensics. I thought I heard something about that, about fingerprints and evidence.
I haven't
and-
heard about fingerprints. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, fingerprints are not, like, I guess your fingerprints specifically are unique, but, like, there are billions of hands in the world, and, like, the likelihood that a computer is going to be able to completely match your fingerprint with like, another one, unless it's a perfect print, does feel very unlikely.
And like the right orientation and partial fingerprints and all sorts of things like that.
Feels like it would be harder to get, or it should be harder to get a conviction based off of fingerprints.
In 2017, there was a report written by the American Association for the Advancement of Science that said that fingerprints are not really reliable evidence.
Oh, interesting.
There you go.
We have concluded that latent print examiners should avoid claiming that they can associate a latent print with a single source and should particularly avoid claiming or implying they can do so infallibly with 100% accuracy. So, yeah.
Wow.
You're right.
What started to get me to really doubt fingerprints was when three of us at the Frontier Developments office could sign in as one another on the fingerprint scanner at the entrance.
Yeah, I imagine.
We would regularly get misidentified as one another.
I was gonna say, like, I imagine, because like my phone has a
As a
I'm going to say
thumbprint scanner.
60% accuracy rate for identifying me as me. Sometimes I'll just press my phone and it'll do the little buzz to indicate it didn't read the fingerprint, and I'll reorient my thumbprint about 4 or 5 times until it locks me out. And then I just do the only sane thing and throw my phone into the sea and just see if I can like detonate my own body in such a way that it destroys the planet.
Anyway, yeah, fingerprints. What the hell? Oh, look, hey, my phone reads my face. I don't know if it's always right though. That is true. But I don't, now it knows my face. And I don't don't trust the government.
Yeah, I don't do the print thing, and I don't do the face thing for my phone. I just use my number for it. Because people can unlock your phone with, by sticking your own unconscious finger or your own unconscious face in front of that phone and stuff.
I never go unconscious.
We know that's demonstrably untrue.
I'm conscious all the time.
It's
true. You went unconscious in a recent episode, Matt.
Yeah, I can't go unconscious when people are around me in a mile's radius. So I sleep in a bunker.
I was going to say at the top of a water tower. Just really high up.
A mile up.
A mile is too high for a water tower, but it's still fun to picture.
A mile high water tower.
What a fucking ladder that would be to climb. You'd be broken by the time you climb down a mile-long ladder.
Well, climbing up is the hard part. I guess you could like ride a pole down or have a slide or something.
It's gonna be cold a mile up too.
Oh yeah.
I think you would get like dire friction burns, like sliding down a pole for a mile.
Listen,
just doing the video game thing where you grab the sides of the ladder with your hands and feet, and it makes that squeaking sound.
I like how everybody's forgetting that elevators are a thing.
I mean, that's
it's just
fine.
You're picturing I'm picturing a shitty old west water tower made of wood and metal.
No, you don't ride an elevator up a water tower.
I know where I sleep.
I hope you know where you sleep.
I sleep underground. You're right. It would be too high. Yeah.
No, see, he sleeps at the top of a 1/2 mile high water tower in a mile deep canyon.
Everybody
in a 1/2 mile deep canyon.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I just can't be around people. Can't fall asleep. Can't be knocked unconscious. People have tried. Can't do it. I can die, though.
Are you sure? You don't know.
Yeah. I've died many times.
You will just be conscious after you die.
Yeah.
Because you can't lose consciousness.
Yeah. You can use my dead face to get into my phone.
Yeah.
Back when Matt and I were working in video games, we had to do a facial motion capture system that I got reasonably well versed in, and it couldn't do Matt's face because he wasn't white enough.
No.
That was the most
common
racist shit.
It would only do white people, and I didn't have any reason to think that the authors of the app were racist, just that the technology was extremely, extremely racist because it was lots of shit invented by and tested on mostly white people.
Yeah, I was gonna say almost certainly all of the developers were white in that particular case.
Yeah, that is the case. There were not a lot of minorities on the development team, but also your sample sizes and stuff are just more likely to have like white people in them, depending on where you collect them. Because you have to train it on faces and shit like that.
It's not that I'm not even like I look pretty white.
Yeah. I mean, you're not pale, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it didn't like me. It didn't like my face at all. Yeah, which sucks because I like doing facial performance. It's fun. It was fun.
We were really hoping to get you to do them.
I was
for that reason.
But nope.
That should have just gone in white face.
I think I did like a quarter of them, and Skylar did a bunch, like just because we were the whitest available people.
My God, did that ever love Skylar's face?
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They loved him. Everybody's down for the live stream, by the way.
Sweet.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Let's do it. Let's do it. You gonna join us on the live stream, Julia?
Yeah, man.
Connecting over the phone.
Sure thing.
The phone.
Well, not the phone.
The telephone.
Like, serious, the phone?
Ring.
Wait,
We'll get you hooked up.
Why can't we do a thing like this?
We can.
Okay. I'm so scared. My phone.
We're not gonna use the phone.
Okay.
Your phone. We're gonna use your landline.
You just point the camera at a rotary telephone, and Julia's voice coming through that.
All right then.
God, I'll do some whiskey. I'll be the only one drinking though, I imagine.
Yeah.
I might drink, but probably not whiskey.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that'll be funnier or not funny. We'll find out.
I mean, I could drink whiskey on camera so you could see how disdainful I am of the flavor of whiskey, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, no.
But I mean, like, I feel like your whiskey would be wasted on me. Like,
yeah,
it would be a travesty.
Well, hook you up with whatever you want.
It would be a really unique piece of content if all of us and our viewers found out simultaneously exactly what sort of drunk I am, because I don't drink. But I don't really want to know. I don't want to know that.
You don't want to live stream that.
Oh, well, I don't want to know in general. I don't like. It's less caring whether other people know, and just not myself wanting to know.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I mean, who knows? Who knows if I'll get drunk?
Mm-hmm.
I will.
We could play Space Quest 6 while we're streaming.
Oh my god. We'll have to figure out something to play though.
See if we just get it back to that old drunk Matt, angry Matt state.
I was so mad. Anyway, yeah. Are we gonna just dick around anymore in this, or are we gonna?
I mean, we might. I was just like, we got into a conversation, and it's like,
but like, what I'm asking
can
is,
do nothing with this damn fingerprint.
Should I? Well, no, can do nothing with nothing.
Let's try to rapid fire from the mailbag here. Because we're all over the place. We're neither committing to the mailbag nor to the game at the moment.
Yeah, no,
that's as
fair.
much on me as anybody.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay. All right. Idris, Colonel's Bequestion. My favorite Christmas movie as a child was Santa Claus the movie. What daring choice! That movie is. Yeah. What is your first childhood Christmas? Okay, so if it was your first movie, I get it. Yeah. What was your first childhood Christmas movie memory, and what is your go-to seasonal movie of choice of today? So here's the thing. Like, I don't know who here is a Christmas person.
I like Christmas.
I like
it's
it.
not my favorite holiday, but
It's my, go ahead.
I do Christmas for my mother and my sister every year. They're the only two people who could convince me to do it because I despise Christmas.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would full on Christmas movie villain try to stop it from happening if I could. I hate it so
what
much.
part do you not?
But I do it for them.
What part do you not like about it?
I hate receiving and opening gifts in front of people. If ever you want to do me a favor, you are all doing it right now by not getting me anything.
So what part of that bothers you?
It's just the way that someone hands you a box, and in that box is something that you don't know what it is, and you just react live to it in front of everybody.
Okay, gotcha.
And especially if you're someone like me and you don't really like many things and people just want to fill the stocking with stuff and it's all things that maybe you 70% like. What my sister has taken to doing is wrapping my gifts in plain white paper and writing the contents of the package on the outside. This contains socks. This is a book. The Christmas movie of the Hicks household for years was The Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Oh.
I don't really why, but that's about the age we were as kids, I guess, when that came out.
That's fair. That's a good one. It's a good one. I think I love Christmas as much as Alex hates it. I think it is my favorite. Mm-hmm. I think I love it so much. For a little context, My mother died November 23rd, 2000. And Christmas cheered me up.
Aww.
That's how much I love Christmas. It wasn't ruined because she was gone. Christmas is just, it's magic. It's true magic.
It brought you around.
It brought me around. I fucking love Christmas. I love it so much. And honestly, like I like it in all forms. I do. I'm just I even love the religious music, and I hate religion. I love it all. Everything.
I guess I enjoyed the the service with the candles back in my religious days that happened around Christmas time. That was kind of the
Your favorite Christmas
a neat
song,
atmosphere.
Then Alex and Matt and everyone, I suppose.
Oh God.
Favorite? Oh, how do I pick?
I hate them also. Wenceslas. Good King Wenceslas. That's my favorite. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I actually do not hate Good King Wenceslas. It's lyrically dense, and I find that pleasing.
It's great. Yeah.
Okay, so my favorite Christmas album, I have two.
That wasn't the question, but go on.
Well, I mean,
it was the question. You just didn't know it was.
You
the
just
question.
didn't know
I'm
it
so
was the
sorry.
question. I have two favorite Christmas albums. One is Boney M's Christmas album, which is fire. It's fire. And it's all like Caribbean Christmas pop.
Okay.
And it's fucking wild. It's fucking crazy. And then on the other end of the spectrum is Lorena McKennitt's Christmas album, which is like medieval and quiet and beautiful, and it's midwinter.
What are you
Night's
doing
Dream.
here, girl?
Whoa.
Can't you feel the evil in the air? There's something real bad around here, and I'm staying put in my cabin behind locked doors. You get yourself on back to your room here. Slam.
Oh.
Wow.
It's kind of her to be concerned for us.
Yeah, but not let us in. Go away. I'm not unlocking this here door anymore.
Wow.
You know, she just
Wow, that's fucking cold.
she's just standing on the other side of that door with her arms crossed.
Jeeves is dead.
I don't care.
What if
An
everything-
unusual Hicks family Christmas tradition is that we all draw names and get gifts for the one person whose name that we drew, and the gifts are
Secret
wrapped in the
Santa.
form of an elaborate sculpture.
Oh. Interesting.
That's a good tradition, though. I like that.
One year I wrapped my brother's gift as a beholder by destroying and inverting a medicine ball and affixing tentacles to it and teeth.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds elaborate.
It is. It's really stressful every time. We do it every year.
No.
This
No.
is dreadful. Poor Ethel has
My
been hit over the
favorite.
head and killed. Something terrible is going on around here, and you suddenly feel a cold
now.
fear spreading ominously throughout your body. It's taken this many corpses to do it, but finally you are beginning to experience human emotion.
I actually get that because first it might have just been like a conspiracy, but like this is more like just generalized maniac killing by this point. It's hard for all of these to be related.
Look at Ethel. It looks like Ethel was hit fatally on the head with a heavy, blunt instrument. Search Ethel.
Oh.
You're not. I'm right here.
I'm right fucking here.
You fearfully search Ethel's body and find that she was indeed killed by a terrible hit on the head.
Search her for fingerprints and sniffer.
Sniff Ethel.
Just as I thought.
Sniff Ethel's
Fingers?
fingerprints.
It's a match.
Look at fingers. This game does not understand fingers. Look at fingerprints. Nothing.
Nothing.
This game has a habit of just ignoring you when you talk about looking at fingerprints.
Yeah, it doesn't like it at all.
I think it would be kind of cool and fun if it weren't for the fact that they just give it to you as
as copy protection if they would actually give you the images of the fingerprints. Yeah.
It's a missed opportunity.
Look in bag. I can't do that. Yes, I can. She's dead. She won't stop me.
Check her mouth.
Check her mouth.
Oh, yes.
Sweep her mouth.
Look at
with your
Ethel's mouth.
Check. All right.
Sweep mouth.
Yes.
That is not clear. Sweep leg.
Yeah.
That is not understood.
Listen to her veins.
Are all of these dead bodies hidden in the same place? Is there just a big, disgusting pile of dead bodies just in a room somewhere?
I hope so.
By now, like, we should... I mean, maybe. There's some kind of mass grave somewhere.
Are they arranged in just a macabre sort of tea party?
I don't know, but I'll tell you this.
That would be kind of interesting.
I don't think we're going to see that.
No?
No.
Oh, it should be our friend Lillian, and they all become the dolls of her tea party.
Oh, man.
Look at what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just look.
Just look. Okay, what was your first childhood Christmas memory?
For TV shows, I would probably say, like the Rudolph, the old timey Rudolph stop action type of stuff, and Frosty.
Yeah.
Oh, the Rankin Bass.
Probably those ones.
Yeah.
Mine was the Chipmunks.
Oh,
Christmas.
of course.
The Chipmunks Christmas.
Yeah.
I want a hula hoop.
Yeah, and Garfield Christmas.
Garfield's Christmas special. Yeah.
Garfield's
Christmas Peanuts, special. Of course.
Peanuts. All those Christmas specials. Pac-Man. I had a Pac-Man.
Oh my! I didn't know Pac-Man wasn't a place to celebrate Christmas culturally, but okay.
Or mentally, or spiritually.
Spiritually.
I didn't know he was in a place spiritually to celebrate Christmas. He's it was not great. The Alf Christmas special was real bleak.
Oh.
Check that one out sometime.
That's not
the one where Rhonda shows up, is it? Was that the finale?
No. This is the one where he goes to the hospital for sick kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sharp intake of breath. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, are they actual sick kids in the actual episode? Please say no.
I mean, they're actors.
Okay.
Just they're not gonna. I mean, there might. I don't know what their
plan
sick, was.
Yes, but spiritually.
They're spiritually sick kids because they're child actors.
I'm trying to remember early fond memories of Christmas, but all of my memories of actual Christmas are filled with such feverish anxiety. Just like even as a kid, when theoretically you just like getting a gift and receiving things, it was such an awful manic experience for me that I just don't. I do recall liking in that the Christmas Eve service with the candles getting handed around. That was very sort of calm kind of. So I think I liked that. And also, my family makes a really amazing pumpkin pie around that time of year, so that's a good part.
But you got
eggnog. I like eggnog.
Eggnog is great. Yeah, but you got movies or anything, eh?
No, even in my youth, I found the whole premise of someone trying to stop Christmas and then getting thwarted in the end is bizarre. Right. Everybody's just trying to stop Christmas, and it's a miracle that it happens every year. But yet they put out the fucking decorations in early November. Yeah, everyone's real invested in stopping this horseshit.
I mean, obviously the Grinch Stole Christmas was big for me too.
I like the Grinch. Yeah, the Grinch is pretty good.
No, but not the movie means nothing to me. Either of them. Because now there's two. There's the live action one and the animated
true.
one.
There's the Jim Carrey one. Yeah.
But okay.
the Jim Carrey one is a fun but bizarre take on it. The animated one I quite like. The new animated one from the people who did Horror Movies
Another animated one?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Look, this is gonna take away valuable time from this episode, but I have to say this. This is actually important.
Saving the game.
The Grinch is pursued. He goes down from the mountain in this new animated movie. Newish, it's years ago now, but the newest that I'm aware of. He goes down from Mount Crumpet to visit Whoville, and they're all getting ready for Christmas. He just needs something in town, I don't know why. And he's pursued through town by these menacing carolers. And they're just doing like sort of jazzy remixes of Christmas carols, which is fine. That's a great way to harass the Grinch, I get it. But they're singing God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. Let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ the Savior was born on Christmas Day. And this raises serious questions because this is taking place on a fucking snowflake.
Yeah, this is fucked up.
Was there a tiny Who Jesus? Or do the Who's worship regular human Jesus? Because one of those things has to be true for them to sing that song. Do all mythological creatures get their own Jesus? For instance.
No, you're right. That is weird. That's so weird.
I couldn't finish the movie.
Like they went out of their way in previous incarnations to make sure that whoa, what the fuck is happening here?
I just wandered around and came upon Rudy and Beauregard.
Oh.
They're actually both dead and taxidermied. Anyway, is there a tiny Who Jesus, or do they worship Big Jesus? I don't know. But either way, I stopped the movie, and I just looked up other comments online of other people being like, yes, I also turned off the movie then, because I can no longer get invested in this lore.
I get it.
It's so fucking, like, tone deaf.
They could have picked any Christmas song. I know, I realize that.
Yeah. It's astonishing that they chose the most Jesus-y one.
Jesus.
It could have been Jingle Bells, then no questions would have been asked. I get it.
Jingle Bells is as, like, non-denominational as it gets.
Bells, yeah, we can all believe in that. They exist.
Yeah.
Like, Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, or All I want for Christmas is you. Like, those are not particularly religious.
I'd be more inclined to believe in a Whoville Wenceslas.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Wenceslas is an historical figure, and it wouldn't make sense, but it would not be as distracting as
give them
tiny little Who Jesus dying for tiny little Who sins, nailed to a tiny little colorful, wiggly Whoville
all
cross.
on a snowflake.
All on a snowflake.
Yeah.
Even if they did have a weird tiny little Who feast of Stephen.
We don't know. That could mean anything in their culture.
That could mean anything. Yeah. It's more believable. I agree. Muppet Family Christmas is big for me too. That's where where the Muppets and the Sesame Street Muppets get together and have Christmas together, and it's a wild crossover.
Muppets Christmas Carol too. I've always got time for the Muppets.
That's fair.
There were Fraggles. Yeah, man, it was so.
The Fraggles were there too. You're right.
Yeah.
Shit, it was wild.
Real Jim Henson smorgasbord. I've actually only seen that once, and only when I was very young, so I have only scattered memories of it.
Jim Henson was in that.
Yeah,
he was in that. Like it's cool. Yeah,
I should
He
track
was there
that one down
as the Muppet Jesus.
Oh well, if you want it, I have it. And remember, the only thing is that the only copies of it were recorded off like YTV back in like from the 80s.
Off TV or VHS type. Yeah, well, I mean, like that's the way it should be.
But
really.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
That's the optimized viewing experience.
But my Christmas movie I go to every year is Scrooged. You know. So.
For like particularly Christmassy, probably the Claymation Christmas Celebration.
Oh, fucking Will Vinton's Christmas! I have that one too. By the way,
Will Vinton's Christmas Celebration. Yep, yeah, I do have. I have that on an MP4 on my computer, and I do watch it every year. But for Christmas adjacent movie that takes place around Christmas, Gremlins.
Sure.
Wow, a non-Die Hard answer. I like it.
Yeah.
Home Alone 2.
Home Alone is
and Home Alone 2.
And Disney's recent Hawkeye series has real Home Alone vibes because it all takes place around Christmas.
Nice.
True.
Nice.
It's true. Yeah. Julia?
I like the movie The Ref, but it's got Kevin Spacey now in it, so I don't know if I'm allowed to like it anymore. But that's also set around Christmas.
I mean, I'm sure you're allowed, right? Like, I mean, it's not really kosher to like Kevin Spacey very much anymore. I can't imagine, but like,
it's a fun movie.
You know,
I'm quite
yeah,
fond
it
of
wasn't your fault that you learned to enjoy that before you knew that Kevin Spacey was a creep, right?
And if it was your fault, that would be fucked up. As long as we're on the same page about the Polar Express, that nobody should.
I've never even seen it. I knew I wouldn't.
I've never seen it. I saw images of it, and I was like, I'm not into that.
Out.
You know, that wasn't.
Very out.
Yeah.
I think we've mentioned
I'm
that the
opting
Chip and
out of
Dale
this.
movie could have been something really special and was like a bit cheaply done in the end. But one line that's really great is they refer to the CG characters as having Polar Express eyes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say polar expressions.
They went to they went to
should have.
a district called the Uncanny Valley of all the CG cartoons of a certain generation who look not quite real enough to be convincing. And they're just recoiling. It's like, I can't tell where he's looking. He's got those Polar Express eyes. Good line.
Yeah, it's
But
a good line.
fun movie. Just they cut corners on it a little bit, which was sad.
Yeah. Santa Claus the movie, by the way, the address is fine. It's fine. You know, it is it's a weird movie. It's a wild movie with. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Have you ever seen Santa Claus the movie?
Santa Claus the movie? No, I haven't.
It's John Lithgow plays a toy maker who's evil.
He's so good at that.
Wow.
Yeah, and
John Lithgow's surprisingly good at evil. Yeah.
yeah, and it's got Dudley Moore as an elf.
Oh, bless.
Nice.
Yeah, and the guy, and Santa Claus, who was actually played by the guy who played the Lebowski in the wheelchair in the big.
You know, maybe I have seen this
Oh,
movie.
wow. Right
Because this
on.
is Dudley Moore as an elf is ringing a bell, and he probably didn't do that very often.
Yeah.
Okay,
Only once a year.
I think I have seen this. You've just kicked up a memory.
This feels like whenever Matt tells me about an 80s cartoon that I've never heard of before. It's weird because like I know a lot of these names. None of this sounds even a tiny bit familiar.
It is absolutely real and it's wild. And the big thing is they never as Corinne brought up in the comments, they never said who played Santa Claus. So the whole big publicity stunt around the movie was they were saying that Santa was played by the Santa.
That's great.
And
and he was just unknown as an actor prior to that?
Yeah,
or?
he was just like, well, I need to tell my story. Anyway, yeah. And Corinne says, I 100% or HUNDO-P, if you will, believe this for years. We got a HUNDO-P.
Yay.
We got a HUNDO-P.
I'm on it. Hold on a second. I wasn't prepared for HUNDO-P watch today. Tina Belcher while I try and find the HUNDO-P watch thing.
We need to rig you up a better soundboard.
Yeah, you need a soundboard. We need to make you one.
That's true.
Matt can do that.
HUNDO-P watch.
Matt can do that stupid radio voice that he does that makes us all so angry. And you could just add stupid sound flourishes.
I just need to move all of the musical cues into one folder instead of like dividing them, because Colonel's Bequestions are in my Laura Bow folder. Questions for Glory and questions for Krull are in the sort of root folder of Sierra Saturday assets, and HUNDO-P watch was in the Fat Stream other assets music folder.
Jeez,
Fat
it's
Stream
everywhere.
being the working title for Level 0 NPCs many years ago.
What was?
Fat Stream. Because it was 3 fat guys doing a YouTube channel.
Goodness.
John wasn't really into it. Matt and I were kind of good with it, which is why it still has...
We thought it was funny. It wasn't going to stick, but we thought it was funny.
No, it didn't stick.
No.
It didn't stick, obviously.
Okay. We're going to move through this. But yeah, HUNDO-P watch. Nice. Idris has Colonel's second B question. What alcohol would you associate with each Sierra lead character? Whiskey, Sonny Bonds. Beer, John Kerry. Some sort of...
Matt's suffering this lightning round.
A glass of water for John Wesley.
I mean, Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Help me.
I was going to say, what I associate, obviously, with Questibird is going to be like the Dragon's Breath, or at least Troll Sweat from the inn in Quest for Glory 1.
But what about a real-life drink for Questibird?
A real-life drink.
What's the ulti-multi of a drink? Is it?
It's got to be like a really stupid cocktail. If he's an
Fireball?
ulti-multi, it's got to have like too much of everything in it.
So
a hamburger on top. How they do?
So
a hamburger as a garnish is amazing. Like a slider on a skewer at the top, garnished with the cheeseburger.
They do that.
I might order that.
Do they do that?
Yeah.
they've done that. That's happened.
Yep.
Who does that and where? Because I'm on my way.
Well, they have
I
like
was
these
gonna
crazy
say-
Caesars that they will like make, and they'll have like a whole meal on top of that thing.
They
Oh
will.
yeah,
They
that
will.
would be good with a Caesar.
But is he a Caesar?
I don't. I have never, for the record, had a Caesar, but I gather it's made out of savory clamato.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Everyone's favorite mixture of tomato and ocean bugs.
A Caesar is saltier than
Not
you would
ocean
expect.
bugs, ocean rock snot.
Ocean rocks. That's the name of my band in high school.
The self-replicating goo known as the clam.
I think Questibird would be more of like a Long Island iced tea, just a bunch of booze, but sort of disguised as something that's not quite that.
Sure.
You know. What about
Valenice is a dry red wine.
She's not a rosé. I guess Rosella's the rosé.
No. Yeah, Rosella is probably
Some
more of a
sparkling
rosé.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes Rosella.
Alexander's like a Pabst Blue Ribbon or something like that.
Yeah, because he's already surrounded by middle-aged men.
Yep, pretty much. King Graham.
A glass of milk.
A glass of milk. A White Russian, if we're going for alcoholic
I was
drinks.
going to say like a
We don't
Corona
have it.
because he's like really light and kind of, there's not much there.
Yeah, a glass of milk.
Milk it's got stuff in it. It's like got fat and flavor and nutrients.
A glass of skim milk.
Okay, skim milk.
That sounds too mean even for King Graham.
I
glass of
imply that he
almond
drinks
milk.
skim milk.
I actually love Graham. I'm just being a dick. It's fun to
What about Roger
dunk on
Wilco?
him.
Glass of milk is fine. It's lame, but that's fine. But implying that someone drinks skim milk, them's fighting words.
Roger Wilco. Ooh, that's a good one.
One is tempted to use another fictional drink, like Douglas
Yeah.
Adams' Pangalactic Gargle Blaster or something.
Yeah, I lean towards a fuzzy navel just because there was a fuzzy navel joke made in the space bar in Space Quest 5.
Yeah,
But-
like something with peach schnapps. Yeah, like yeah, for sure.
Something very alcoholic, but also a little.
Yeah, I was going to say
stupid.
something
Yeah.
silly. Yeah.
Yeah. What about our girl Laura?
Laura Bow here?
Yeah. Strawberry milk.
Strawberry milk?
I think she has to regularly hydrate her body with rum, just sort of keep it from crumbling and falling
So
apart.
like rum and eggnog.
She does
or like rum and a
object
milkshake?
to drinking so much that I'm guessing she's like Temperance League kind of shit here. So like milk, strawberry milk, maybe like tea.
Strawberry
Maybe a
lemonade.
milkshake? Oh, strawberry lemonade. Yeah.
There you go.
Just that red is we don't know what the red color is from or the pink color is from. It's just there. Whatever.
It's just there.
Yeah.
It's just there. Yeah. Who are we missing?
I don't know if we've commented on the possibility of Laura being fruitcake before, but that would be a dense substance to be made of. She could really
But yeah, I
clobber
think
somebody.
we have talked
It's
about it in
fruitcake
terms of like
golem
her
arms.
just drinking, like sipping rum and eating nuts and chopped fruit, and just doing that to herself over a period of years, and eventually becoming quite formidable. Yeah, and immortal.
Becoming a sort of a fruitcake mummy. Yeah, I think we've discussed that. This sounds like well-trodden territory. But on the subject of Christmas, a sort of fruitcake golem is delightfully Christmassy.
Yeah, if she were fruitcake, then it would have to be bourbon, right?
And that's perfect. Isn't
I
that
agree.
southern?
Or rum, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
or
true.
rum-soaked fruitcakes as well.
I'm down.
Yeah. Larry of the
man.
like mainline quests
One of those, like, a
and
White Claw
Gabriel
or
Knight
something.
we've missed so far.
White
White Claw probably. And Gabriel Knight. I actually, so full disclosure, I've never played a Gabriel Knight game in my life. So this is the only series of Sierra games that I had never played previously. So I actually have no context for Gabriel Knight. So I'm gonna have to lean on you, Julia,
man.
to
Me too. I've never
Let us
played
know.
it.
He's kind of sleazy. He tries to be cool, and he ends up being cool occasionally. And also,
so an old fashioned.
yeah, sure. Let's do old fashioned.
or a Negroni or something like that. Yeah, the ones that like very few people actually really like, but order to look cool.
Yeah,
Negroni.
yeah. I think that's fair for him. He's a really good character. I mean, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's a good game, and it's gonna be good to play.
I'm looking forward
I
to it.
too have never played it, but I haven't played any of these because I'm just a whippersnapper.
Just a youngin. But yeah, yeah. Okay, good one. Sorry, Matthew Higdon loves the idea of a level 0 NPCs live stream,
Nice.
and who wouldn't? Because we're amazing.
Aw.
And Joseph Davies.
We're something.
Wow, yeah, Colonel's Bequestion. Is Laura's breath hot cake air, or is it room temperature?
Ooh,
Great
yeah.
question. They're both uniquely bad because the hot cake air would condense on you, but not in the way that a living things would. It would like cool too quickly, I think. And I think that would be disturbing, the moist cake air. But also cold moist cake air would be really profoundly bad.
It'd be upsetting.
Yeah. There's no good answer, which is what makes it a good question.
I always picture hot.
I do
I don't
too.
know why I picture dry hot, but
Oh yeah, I picture it like when you open up the oven when you're baking a cake, and like it's
Yeah.
like that.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, like too warm.
Yeah.
Like she opens her mouth and there's like heat ripples.
Yes.
Like she's still baking on
Like
the
she's
inside.
still baking. Yeah, that's her.
Oh, that's very arcane. That's like, yeah, that's truly horrific because that makes it seem like she's probably dangerous.
Arcane core deep within her that continues to bake her as she moves around.
Like she's powered by
Yeah,
it.
she's always fresh made
Oh, God.
bread. Like there's like a portal to the cake realm that's just bleeding cake mass out into a human shaped avatar.
I like to think that maybe it's even light in there when she opens her mouth, and when it's a dim room or if it's dark out.
Yeah. And she,
The scorching hot, like eye-watering, just opened the oven cake air really makes me more confident that she can continue to exist because she's definitely magical. Like she's not just Frankenstein, right? She has some sort of horrible ongoing spell effect that's
like
manifesting
she's connected
her.
to like the quasi-elemental plane of cake. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna choose that one because that's fucking brilliant. Of just the blast of air out of the top crack of the oven that makes you blink your eyes in discomfort. That's what her breath is like a fucking like she's got a breath weapon. She's keeping a
It smells
secret.
great though.
Smells great. Very vanilla. Joseph Davies' second Colonel's question: which Sierra game / franchise had a setting / premise that best matched the game of adventure hybrid they built around it? For instance, that Something strikes me about the discussion of the fun in Codename Iceman and Police Quest games is that they're very procedural and simulationist. I think there's an audience for that, even if it's not for everyone. An interesting thing about Sierra franchises is that each one kind of reaches out into different genres, while usually using the same engine and familiar interfaces. All of that was still nascent in the industry, so I'm not sure how explicit this was, but it seems like a smart way to differentiate your products, and so that leads into the question, which Sierra game/franchise/setting had the best matched genre of adventure hybrid they built around it.
My favorite thing about Joseph Davies' question is they're always Sierra related, or almost always Sierra related. He'll always bring it back to, like, let's talk Sierra products. Which character would be good in this or that kind of thing.
It's great. It's great.
I'm of a mind that Quest for Glory is probably the most well realized Sierra adventure game other genre hybrid. RPG is a good mix. They experimented a lot with different combat systems. I was very partial to the combat in Trial by Fire.
I was going to say I do like number 2s.
Yeah, I think it was the best of them. You know, and then stack grinding easy as long as you just make the things necessary to stack grind available somewhere in your game. Honestly, I think of all of the Sierra games, the Quest for Glory series is probably the most well realized as games in general.
Yeah.
It felt kind of the most like an intricate video game where you had a lot of agency and what you did mattered.
Yeah.
It didn't feel so much like you were strolling through a linear story. It felt like there was a higher illusion of choice.
I agree with that. Yeah. I think an honorable mention needs to go to Space Quest for space comedy, which is would be hard to do. And they did it really well up to an actual definitive line, which
I suppose when I think about the mashup of genre, I think adventure game and other game type, more so than narrative framing. And absolutely narrative framing wise, Space Quest, it made some big swings and some of them whiffed, but a lot of it was also really good. I've always been a fan of the Space Quest. I would say that probably my favorite series of games overall is probably Space Quest. Being a sci-fi kid myself, and
I think you could dipping into the comedy thing is not exactly comedy games are not exactly a genre, but they're not.
Comedy is definitely something you don't see or get in video games a lot.
Yeah, and I think that's why I said it, because if you look at King's Quest as the vanilla one, just sort of it's straight up an adventure game, right?
It's inventory puzzles, through and through. Yep.
Yeah. Then that's all I'm saying.
I respect the ambition of Codename Iceman. I understand what they were going for with Codename Iceman with the submarine simulator.
Yeah.
I don't think it was well realized. I think it was unnecessarily frustrating to do. And I think that Codename Iceman would have been a better video game and entertainment property overall if they had dropped the submarine simulation thing and instead stuck with the very limited amount of actual spy movie intrigue shit that they were doing.
Yeah, I agree. The stuff at the start, the spy stuff at the start, the spy stuff at the end, great.
Yeah, if you had cut out pretty much all of the USS Blackhawk, or at the very least all of the driving of the Blackhawk in Quest for Glory, or not Quest for Glory, in Codename Iceman, it could have been a much better game than it was.
I feel like Gold Rush, I mean, I didn't play it, but I watched you guys play it, but how did that feel in terms of being kind of like an Oregon Trail / adventure game type of thing?
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's sort of like an
You had real decisions to make.
Yeah, and
that's a few different endings to that.
And you did learn stuff. I learned more about the Gold Rush playing that game than I did,
It was probably like, now thinking back towards it, as far as edutainment goes, it's probably the best Sierra edutainment game.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
In terms of having like a slightly different format than a completely standard adventure game too. I mean, it does do other things.
Yeah. It was very standard.
Oh, was it? Because I figured you have to like supply yourself and choose like what you're gonna take and stuff.
You do, but basically it's just like you have the right supplies or you die. In Gold Rush was very much a product of early Sierra, where it's like you make a choice and then you go down and then eventually you find something where you're like, oh shit, I don't have this critical piece of inventory, so I guess I'm just gonna die.
But
and
also,
start
like,
again from the
there
beginning.
were parts of that were very like random too, right? Like,
oh yeah,
that were just like, well,
do you have cholera or
you
not?
got cholera,
Let's check.
And there's nothing you can do about it. You dead.
In
I
that
like
way,
that someone
it was also very edutainment-y.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
Someone contemplated the Gold Rush, the process of getting one's ass to California to try to like get in on a claim to participate in that, right? That process was harrowing and intricate and resulted in so many deaths. And someone was like, that would make a game. Like, and like for especially early games where like replayability meant like weird failure states, like just randomly getting cholera and not making it, you learn something, you load it up and you try again. For a game of that era, absolutely, why not?
I mean,
don't do it in a modern game that's a little rough, but back in the day.
That's where I learned about what cholera was. Playing it as a kid, I soaked up so much history shit just by playing that. It's fun.
And watching you guys play it as a full-ass adult, I learned a bunch about the subject matter, and I was engaged. I was really interested in the game and the game design, and it was an interesting, both as a game and a piece of video game history. It was an engaging experience.
Yeah. Checking out like what 1850 was like, 1849. Like that was awesome.
And a remarkably complicated story for the technology, like with the different endings and branches and routes you can take.
Yeah. And I mean, there was a coherent story. It wasn't much of a story, but there was like, I could describe to a certain extent who Jared Wilson was, right?
Yeah. And like it was a believable story because that's kind of how stories in real life are, Yeah. 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 I like it. And I learned a lot. So that, nice. Good call out. Edutainment.
Excellent.
Anyway.
We got any Colonel's Bequestions left in the bag? I also realized that we are short one of these this episode.
The Colonel's Bequestion!
We actually do have one more.
Nice.
The Colonel's questions.
Let's hit it.
It's by Spivey Lou. So
Okay. Hey Spivey. This one is a long one potentially.
This one is saving this one for the end is possibly a mistake, but that's fine. We're gonna do it anyway. It's a Colonel's Requestion.
Nice.
Some of your American fans are facing long weekends eating all beige food and listening to racist aunties talk about politics and religion and my poor tattoo decisions. Please talk about charming Canadian holidays and traditions. Make it up if you need to. How would I know? Yours desperately, Spivey Lou. I'm so sorry.
One of the more like diverse, one of the more like not everyone. It's divisive is the word I'm looking for. One of the more divisive Canadian traditions is, of course, the annual Goose cull. One Canadian goose can lay upwards of 3,000 eggs, kind of like a mosquito. And they just kind of leave them everywhere, and about like 95% of those chicks hatch. Like they'll just leave one like in the rain gutter, and it'll just be there in the cold damp with nothing tended, and then hatch into like a fully grown Canadian goose. Like, it starts off little and dewy, but like it grows its feathers in like a matter of seconds. It's a grotesque display. And so they would overrun probably not only Canada, but the planet if they weren't culled every year. So you get your goose culling crossbows, which are sort of like those Van Helsing repeating crossbows. And you just drive around in cars just rattling arrows into the air. And, you lose an eye or a finger because geese are fucking vicious. But, it is good bonding, all of us surviving together against the avian onslaught.
I really, you're sort of describing the way it was in, the late 90s, early 2000s. I feel like it's just become way more commercial these days. And I feel like most of, the automated shit that they've done to cull the geese is sort of it really, really takes that fun out of it. It really is just sort of it's
when 2 government-issued drones go by and fire an electrified net through a cloud of 500 geese.
Fucking exactly.
Yeah, it's just not the same.
Fucking exactly.
It is an incredible sound, the sort of jolting, like a giant bug zapper, but for geese as they all fall in a tangled mass to the ground. 1 ton of struggling goose
it's kind
flesh.
of a spectacle for sure.
It's true. It has gone from a joyous occasion like The Purge to more of a somber occasion like Terminator 2.
Well, yeah, I think we have more humanity.
Young folks
now.
these days, they barely know how to wield their weird repeating Van Helsing crossbows, right? So the failure rate on those net drone things is pretty high, and sometimes you've got to just defend your house, and I see kids just kind of hiding behind their parents, and I'm like, what happens when they die, kid? You got to learn to defend yourself.
There's a lot of bycatch with the drone nets. It's they catch people's pets, and they catch other birds and stuff that they don't want to get in there. And so
absolutely,
kind of problem.
And not just what they catch in the net, but what the net lands on.
Do you guys
just a ton of burning feathers tumbling out of the sky?
Do you guys have a favorite goose culling memory?
Yeah. So we don't get a lot of the eggs in the yard and stuff. And what we would do is we would get the barbecue. You got that propane tank. We'd kind of unscrew that and we'd sprinkle the propane on top. So we wouldn't even let them hatch because there's actually a time.
I had a neighbor who did this.
Yeah,
yes.
so you don't let them
smart.
hatch because they do just grow so fast and they poop everywhere. It's a big disaster. So you just kind of you just kind of cover them with some propane and you light them on fire and it all burns off. And it's not the greatest smell, but it just gets rid of them quick before they become a real problem.
Well,
it's a remarkable sound too because the goose fetus will try to hatch in sort of self-defense, but it's not fully incubated yet, so it just kind of it doesn't make it.
No, there's a sound, there's a keening that happens, and it's not great to hear, but you just close your windows.
The egg rupturing with steam mingled with the cries of the malformed abomination inside. It's a unique sound, and if you've got elderly family members or little kids, that's just a much better way to clear the eggs off your property than letting them hatch, even though it's not quite traditional.
Be indoors too, because they will explode and there'll be shell everywhere. But it's fine.
Yeah.
And you Americans might have heard in conversation Canadians referring to their fire lawn. Mm-hmm. That is a thing up here that we have to get rid in the goose culling. It's basically you just put in my next door neighbors had this, but we didn't have we didn't have the money to set it up, or you actually have the propane tanks hooked up to nozzles in your lawn, like sprinklers, except they shoot fire.
We didn't have that. Yeah.
We didn't have that. No, nobody did, right? And now you can't. Now they're outlawed.
Yeah,
which is a real bummer.
Yeah, it is a bummer.
But
it's again other things catching fire that's the issue. People using them irresponsibly.
Like people just lighting it for Canada Day,
Yeah. It's not for Canada Day, it's for goose culling day. Yeah. It's not a celebration, it's a necessity.
Well, okay, but
you should celebrate at the same time, but
we say it's not a celebration, but I live all year for that pudding.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true. The goose culling pudding.
The goose culling pudding. It's my goddamn
my favorite goose culling. This is the classic response, but it is probably my first, or not the first of my life, because I was just a shitting, drooling baby at the time.
Yeah.
But the first time when I actually went out in the goose culling jeep with all of my older relatives, and my dad kind of did most of the actual culling, and I just fired the crossbow once or twice, but just the sun is setting. You wait till their eyesight's not so good, and you're just kind of like firing at the shadows in the sky. And then there's like warm, like goose culling cider afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of nice to just sort of be out and to be sort of welcomed into the community in that way.
Yep. Oh, and there's the old Canadian saying, like, how many uncles? You know, like, how many uncles did you lose in the culling? Yeah, it's less and less every year. Like, it really doesn't happen as much. But man, back in the 80s.
Yeah, I'm sad that kids don't get that anymore.
So
like, I'm just sad that, yeah, they don't have the same crossbow skills that we cultivated when we were kids. And there's a lot less sense of community, I feel like, because we just don't get to
I agree
anymore.
with you. I agree with you.
Families used to be bigger because you needed the body mass for the goose culling.
Yeah.
It was normal to have like a dozen kids because you'd expect to lose some in the goose cull each year. And so if you wanted kids to like tend the farm and look after you, you needed some spares in there. But kids these days grow up with no crossbow experience and all of their uncles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like, and that was part of the fun growing up when you'd ask a kid like how many uncles, and they'd say like 7, and you're like, bullshit, bullshit. It's not 1923, asshole. You know, but I do.
You've got 2 uncles. One of them shot 1 goose, maybe.
Yeah, come on. Anyway, what a time though.
Mm-hmm.
What a time.
Yeah. I do fondly recall that one sort of period in the mid 80s when people were like experimenting with like melee against the geese because they were finding that people were a little bit leery about using crossbows in more sort of populated areas, stray arrows, stray bolts.
It's like a city problem. Yeah.
Yeah, more of a city problem, more of a sort of metropolitan area, and it was also the era where like ninja movies and things like that were getting really popular. I do remember, that one kid made the news because he was injured with you trying to do like goose chucks or something like that.
Yeah,
the fucking goose chucks, that was never going to work.
No,
eat your elbow.
But like,
I mean, the things are nearly immune to blunt force trauma.
They did the melee thing like for 2 years in the 40s, and it didn't fucking work then. I do not know why they think, oh well, we're gonna use like ninja weapons. Like, why is that any
I guess because
different?
Karate Kid came out and everyone was all excited. They thought they could bring it back, and it was just never gonna work.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's why it all got automated. Is just people like, the urbanization, people just, I don't want to hit my neighbor's gnomes or pets or whatever with these crossbow bolts. So then people got the idea to just do like medieval weaponry. And of course, a bunch of people got hurt. And now it's all done with electrified drone nets. The one melee weapon that I saw sort of work was the goose whacker, like the spinning, bit of thing, like the weed whacker, but for geese.
Yeah.
You could use a weed whacker, but it didn't really have the torque for it.
You needed to put one of those, one of the little saw blades on the end. Yeah.
If you weed whacker a goose's head off, it'll finish killing you before it knows it's dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I look forward to it every year, but less and less. Like, it's one of those holidays that's sort of just dying.
Mostly it's just the pudding, and like honestly, you go to the store, you get yourself a can of condensed goose, and it's just about as good.
Oh fuck, man! You can get that pudding year round now. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? And it's not as good. It's not as good. There's not as much.
It's not as good as fresh out of the oven.
No, and
but,
they don't use enough cinnamon. Do you guys find that?
Yeah, or occasionally way too much.
Yeah, but that's like the artisanal, shit you can buy, and it's like
you can pay extra for too much cinnamon, or you can go cheap and get too little, but you can never get the right amount.
Yeah. So the goose culling, that's one of our big.
But
ones.
it's like a decline, which is a shame. But sometimes you can go to like smaller communities, and they'll still have it kind of be more like it was when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you go out, like, visiting my relatives in the country, it is kind of like the old days, though we don't always lose an uncle to the geese. One of them usually does get arrested.
That's how it is now.
Yeah.
It's very illegal now to just get the goose hunting posse together and just sort of, rattle off some quarrels into the sky.
You can still find it, though, if you really, really do want to.
Yeah. And especially like the small community cops too, right? Where everyone knows there's 2 police officers and everyone knows their names. They'll usually just kind of wave as they drive by and tell you to keep safe.
I really think it's remiss for us to not mention that, like, the goose problem hasn't been as big of a problem as it was like even 20 years ago. Like it's not like it's getting more of a commercial, but it's true, but like it's not the kind of like country ending threat it was back even in like 2002, 2003. It's like at most you're going to lose a town. You know,
it's the genetically modified goose feed that reduces the population,
which is it's smart. I get it. Like I understand safety's a thing.
Human civilization's got to move forward, right?
Yeah.
And that means genetically manipulating the goose population to be a little bit less sort of large and aggressive, you know, maybe lay 400 eggs instead of several thousand.
That definitely helps for sure.
But if you've got like new modern storm windows on your home, like you're probably okay if you don't turn on the lights, right?
Yeah.
During hatching season.
I just find it funny that you went directly for goose culling and didn't talk about like October soft mash. It's so weird. But I guess
Bedford days.
It was really just that fond memory, and because it's so uniquely Canadian.
Yeah.
But I definitely used up a disproportionate amount of our time talking about the goose cull, and that was very selfish.
I mean, it's again, it's less of a holiday and more of a necessity.
Yeah, it's a tradition, but a tradition of necessity.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like getting firewood for winter is not a holiday.
Oh well, may we survive this year.
May we survive
this year.
How many uncles?
How many? Indeed.
Anyway, there you go. I hope that helped.
Helped.
Holidays with family can be so rough.
Yes.
With like, especially like once you've got like in-laws and you do the thing with your family and then with their family, and there's like separate baggage for like each, and just like between Thanksgiving and Christmas, you eat a lot of steaming plates of beige food, and yeah, I get it. I feel where you are coming from, and yeah, you're not alone.
I'm so sorry.
You know, Spivey Lou,
and Spivey. And here's the thing: I actually think that in Canada, like Thanksgiving just isn't as big of a deal. It just isn't. We do have it in October, of course, but it's just not. It's not like it's a you take the day off.
Yeah.
But it's not
you have some turkey, some cranberries. We eat the same stuff, you know.
We don't eat. Do you guys eat them?
I'm mostly thankful for the day off. The
marshmallow casserole thing. Like, do we do that up here? I don't think so.
Not to my knowledge.
The
I
sweet
haven't
potato with the
seen
marshmallow on top, mysteriously.
Here.
That
we don't.
Yeah.
We
never had that.
No, we don't really do desserts as a course.
No.
It's not a side. Desserts is a side dish.
Because I've been fascinated by that ever since I've seen, heard about it and heard tell that they do that in the States, and
marshmallow fluff.
It sounds
on a
terrible. I cannot
vegetable,
believe that it's a thing.
It's
you don't like sweet potatoes?
I love sweet potatoes, but I don't see why you are putting marshmallows all over that and baking it.
It's pretty delicious.
Are you serious? You've had it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
never experienced that.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty great.
Oh.
My family also does the pumpkin pie for
which is the wise and civilized choice.
Yeah,
I enjoy that every year. When I had a 10-year relationship implode almost live on air, it almost happened while Matt and Luke were recording. Someone can edit the wiki and update that page. But when I got back, it was just around Thanksgiving, and my folks delayed Thanksgiving so that we could all have pie together, which was quite sweet.
Yeah.
No pun intended, but it was just like that. That's all Thanksgiving has ever been in our household. But it does kind of fall into that holiday gauntlet of that kind of experience. So,
but having it in October feels just it's not too close to Christmas. Yeah. It's just like it's kind of
you get time to get your life back together.
We had Alex and his partner over for Thanksgiving this year. Actually.
Lovely.
Yeah.
The Goodmansons whip up a hell of a Thanksgiving feast. It was fucking phenomenal.
I can take very little credit for it. My wife is just, I don't know how she does it. It's incredible. It's fucking incredible. That gravy, man. That still stays with me today. Anyway. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you're going through that. You know, it's a few days. You know, take it out. Go shopping, and you know, Black Friday, which will be over by the time this airs.
Cyber Monday.
kill
Cyber
someone.
Monday is coming up.
I find that holiday gloom usually breaks for me shortly before New Year's. That's usually that's usually when I see the light at the end of the tunnel with all that stuff. So I hope it's the same for you. That kind of
So right, like around when we're going to do the live stream, for instance.
Yeah, thereabouts. I'll just be coming out of that sort of like weird, sort of that holiday gloom that I always get.
My holiday.
Yeah.
It's because I always just spend New Year's with my
holiday gloom
friends.
tends to be immediately followed up with like New Year's anxiety. So that's how I feel about that. So I kind of stretch that out a bit longer.
Like just because
It's a new year. Yeah. What are you going to do with it?
There's lots of superstitions around a New Year, so I get that.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That could be that. Yeah. So join us on the 28th, everybody, and we'll discuss all of this. The 28th of December.
Assuming we all survive the Goose Cull.
Of course.
Assuming we survive the call.
The Goose Cull can only be estimated. We use an old almanac. No one remembers who wrote it. Because it predicts when the geese will hatch, and it's a different day every year.
That fucking holiday is always too close to Christmas. Jesus fuck. Maybe that's why I love Christmas so much, because it's just, you know, it's like, oh, thank fuck, I could
Celebrate.
just eat.
But every now and then you open a present that was wrapped before the cull, and it's from someone who died in the cull.
Oh, that is a uniquely Canadian experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everybody. You want to play a little more?
Yeah, you got to talk to the dog there.
I reckon we're pretty much out of time here.
Let's deal with this.
Deal with this. Okay, you got it.
Deal with
Petting
Rudy.
a dog, yes.
Rudy sits sullenly on the steps outside the colonel's study with old Beauregard accompanying him.
Rudy!
Look at Beauregard. Beauregard has joined Rudy as he sits on the steps outside Colonel Dijon's study. Tell about Fifi.
I ain't interested.
Tell about many murders.
I don't care.
Tell about murder.
I don't
Rudy
care.
doesn't care.
He didn't even say anything. It just told you that he
You
doesn't
can just
care.
tell that. Yep.
I don't want to talk about nothing right now. I've got some thinking to do.
God, this is like a weird stress dream, isn't it?
Ask about Beauregard. Did I just ask
No,
about
you did.
Beauregard? Let's tell
Oh, you
him
did?
You
about
Okay,
did, yeah.
I don't
Beauregard.
remember.
You said tell about, or no? Yeah.
Rudy doesn't care. Okay.
Well, okay. You know what? Fuck this thing.
Tell about fingerprints.
I don't
doesn't
care. I don't know why I thought we could deal with this at all. I don't know.
Yeah,
why we thought
I'm
we could
sorry.
I mean, we've
it's
dealt
my
with
fault.
it basically, right? Like
Yeah.
we've
The way that we
yeah.
do.
there's just not much to do by way of dealing with this. I think they just give these little like vignettes of other characters interacting so that we know they're still alive.
VM Rudy.
I have to VM Rudy. Every single episode, I do a Bill Cosby Rudy. And
Rudy.
I just want to apologize because Bill Cosby sucks.
Okay.
Are we allowed to do?
He does.
I think we're allowed to parodize Bill Cosby.
Are we allowed to
now?
We talked about mocking him, right?
Yeah.
Making a mockery of a bad person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, that just sounds very fun to do. It's a fun sound.
He's
Yeah.
And he doesn't make a
Rudy!
dime off it or anything, you know, so it's...
That's true.
It's true.
That's true. Yeah. Fuck Bill Cosby.
He's, yeah,
Yeah.
rotting in some combination of jail and hell. So
Well,
make as much fun of him as we want.
he's out of jail now, but he's definitely in hell. Fuck that guy. Anyway, I'm sorry to bring down
With that,
sorry
yeah.
to bring down the show at the end. Anyway, stick and stay, everybody. I'm sorry.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Sorry.
Stick and stay. Maybe I'll survive
Stick
this
and
year.
stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, we'll be fine.
Hardly any people die anymore.
We're veterans.
So yeah, it's gonna be fine.
If you the sort of the Canadian rule of thumb, if you live to your 30s, you will live.
Yeah.
Unless you're an uncle.
Unless you're an uncle.
Yeah.
Then there's pressure on you.
Even
to perform.
then, most uncles.
Well, nowadays, yeah.
Nephews and nieces.
Nowadays.
Oh yeah. All our uncles are quite safe as long as they steer clear of the electrified nets falling from the sky, filled with a ton of struggling goose flesh and burning feathers.
Yeah, I did lose an uncle before I was born, so that kind of counts. So but it's not the same.
It's not like it was, but yeah, it's not the same. And you park your cars indoors if you can, like in the garage. So that's another pro tip.
For the shit alone, if not the damage.
I can't. So.
Also, the shit will cause damage.
Yeah,
It'll eat right through.
Acidic.
But that's why we have car covers.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they sell them.
So don't forget,
Definitely do your research. Don't just trust a goose-proof label. Like, goose shit is like fucking xenomorph blood. Like, you really make sure that it's goose shit.
Nagles card covers, they're the best. They're the best.
Oh, yeah. They're like... It's like saying Kleenex. Get your Nagles. It's goose culling season.
And every year someone wants to save money and not get a Nagles cover, and then they just pay for it in the end, But
there's a
born.
They just know, Nagles
and...
knows, so they're not going to put that stuff on sale. Like, you're not going to get one on Black Friday or anything like that for any kind of discount. They don't. They know they don't need to.
It is very close to a monopoly, but it's a monopoly like everybody's kind of cool with.
Yeah, because it's good.
Because honestly, like, you can get like store brand goose covers, but like even if you put them under a microscope and prove to me that they were the same, I wouldn't fucking trust it.
No, these guys have been at it since the 60s. Yeah. Like, definitely.
Yeah, I'm not just gonna gamble my property on some, budget scientist making goose covers.
Yeah. Damn.
Anyway, stick and stay.
Stick and stay, everyone.
And Alex, speaking of that, my Meg's gonna make a really sweet pudding. So if you guys want to come over afterwards, you can.
Oh yeah. I'll wait till it goes till like that sort of the eye of the storm in the middle when it's all quiet. Yep. The nets stop buzzing.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll swing over.
Awesome. Sounds great. All right, y'all. Stick and stay.
Thanks, everybody. See you next time. Stick and stay.
Hey, folks.